M0FXP Hamtech CM108. Let's remove the green item and the pink item for our Allstar node modification. This is a CM108. So I'm going to use this heat gun. It's only a cheap one. You can buy them for about £50 heat gun, and it comes with a soldering iron as well. And I'm going to set it on the highest blower, and temperature wise I'm going to actually go to about 450 because you need to get it really hot to get those just to melt off and melt away. So what we're going to do is just heat up everything for holding it with this plate. Heat it all up, get it really hot. And what you definitely don't want to do is pull at it. You want it just to almost fall off. Just going to get a better angle, I think. So what I'll do is I'll put some tweezers in there. I'm not going to pull it, I'm just going to hold it and wait until I feel it getting loose. Keep going in the middle. So as I'm moving things, it's luckily there aren't any other components that we're worried about in this area. So let's just try it. Hold on and then just keep heating. When it does get to the right temperature, it just literally lifts away. It's not the best heat gun. Keep trying. Fast forward it if it gets a bit boring. Starting to move, I think. There you go. See that? And even then it's taken part of the pad there. You can see it, just the white bit, but it's still, I think, usable. Get in there. There it goes. You see that drop off? So the next part that needs to be removed is this component here, which I'm pretty sure is marked as R7 and R6, and this component here. I'm going to try them with the soldering iron. So it's quite hard to do under a camera, but you get the idea. You sort of, like, I'm not really seeing, I can't see it very good, but you just heating it either side, get the tweezers on it, and just, as long as, well, just try. There's one. You try not to affect the other components around it. That's the key thing here. I suppose you could put them back on, but I'd rather not. So just this one here, look, it's marked R6. So I just heat both sides. There, it came off easy, that one. So that's good. You don't need them. Then the last one is this big one here. You just pull it towards you so you can't affect the other components really. Oh, there it goes. I should have pulled that towards me, but that's done. And then we'll just check the pads. If you look here, only one was a bit not good. See that? Ripped it off there a bit. I don't think you can solder to a blank pad. Oh, that seems to have took. Well, that's lucky. And then we'll just add some solder to each one. And count these as I give these a number, starting at the top. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might as well add some here and here. Let's have a look. So we look close. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to connect to. We've got to cut this track. So I'll do that now. You cut this track here, go towards this hole here. Eventually there'll be a wire that goes from this pin, far left pin, up to here. Okay, and that's going to be, pretty sure that's the red wire for the mic. Then there's another wire that goes from this pin to this point here. Then you've got the black going up there, then the white, and coming down you've got the yellow. So we will show that. Let me just cut this track, and all you do is get a Stanley knife and cut it. So without cutting yourself, just cut across there. I go to that hole basically, and then get a tester. Put your meter tester on there, and from this point to this point, just make sure there isn't a circuit. So right now, if we put it onto this buzzer setting here, so if I tap it on those 2 points and it beeps, then I know that I haven't cut it deep enough. And there you are. Nothing at all. So that's pretty much ready now to have the wires connected, and we'll do that in the part 2 video. With a bit of luck. So yeah, fingers crossed you get it right. They're about £6 each, so when you do break them, it is a bit annoying. Bye for now, but you can buy them in packs of like 4. 7.3. EMS-RO FXB CM108. So let's call this part 2 of my CM108 modification, ready for my Allstar node. So you can buy these for about £5. We've got ourselves a solder station. See in the background there, and I set the soldering iron to about 340 degrees. Okay, and sometimes I use a heat gun, sometimes I use a, the soldering iron. Now to remove the components that I've already done in a previous video, I used a heat gun, and you had a pink and a green item that looks like this. Okay. And I used the heat gun to just heat them up until they fell off, and then any damage that happened to these 12 pins, these 12 solder points, I just repaired with just solder. Then I removed, just show you here, parts one was removing this component marked as R7, and this component, and it's on the left here, marked as R6, and also this component that looked identical to this component. So the next stage is to add some 30 gauge silicone wire from this pin here to this point here, and from this left pin to, let's get it right, this left point, no, I've got to get this right, left point here to here, left point here to here. Okay, I probably won't connect that end because we need to add another wire on there first. Probably get there's a red wire that's going to go there for the microphone. So anyway, so let's have a go at doing this. Now I find that just have a bit of, get some fluxy stuff. I just put a bit on, just to know it's going to go take more to these pins. I'm not really bothered about the bigger ones. And then what you want to do is when you come in with your soldering iron, and it's quite hard to do this on camera, keep your soldering iron nice and clean, and tin it, of course. I just use a wet sponge to keep it clean. And then with some good lighting and good magnifying glasses, just tap on this side a bit of solder, just hardly anything. So I'm going to try and do this. If I muck it up, it's because I'm going to blame the fact that I'm trying to film it. So I'll try and do it, and if I get it wrong, there's a 30 gauge wire. You can buy them in a roll for about £5, and it's silicone coated, and it just takes to the solder really well. And it's the recommended one by many people that modify these. Now remember, I'm not an expert, I'm a novice, yeah? And I'm just learning in front of you, so let's just put a tiny bit of solder just on this side of the soldering. I'll make sure that you don't have too much on there, and just dab a bit on there. You want to try and not join the two pins together, you see. Just dab a bit there. And then the same goes for the piece of wire, which I find, if I hold them side by side, like so, I can, just tin them all basically, and if you can cover them in flux as well, just to make sure it takes. You got the hub net in the background, just listening to that. I like to sort of, when I'm tinkering, I like to have hub net in the background. Check it out. That's where pretty much monitoring that 24/7. So we're just tinning these bits of wire. The best way to learn to solder, because I'm no good at soldering, is just to do it over and over again. Just keep doing it. Right, so we've got the wire, first one done. Try and put the little bubble of solder to the left of the component and just literally just tap it and let go. That's the first one done. Now the trick is not to join the other ones together. So that one's done. Could move that one down. Move it in a place where you think you won't have any problems. Try and get it as easy as you can, and then we're just gonna could do with a bit more solder on there, so I'll clean it. Clean the soldering iron. And put some fresh solder on there. Just wipe it on a sponge. That's what I do. I'll just show you my wet. It's a wet sponge. Literally, just wiping it like that. That's how I do it. Any old kitchen sponge is what I use. So what we're trying to do is keep it in camera. Is get a tiny bit of solder to go on the right side of that pin. So we're going to make sure that the blob is on this side, and then we're just going to literally tap it. Now you've got to be careful, because if you get it on the next one across, you know, you've ruined it really. Yeah, a bit went on there. So then we get the wire, like so. And then we're going to try and keep on this side. It's quite hard to do. No, I think that got it. You're better off to, if you're not sure, just remove the soldering iron and have a good look. This is what we're going to do. Better to go not quite enough, and then check it first, you know. So I think we've got those wires. Just gonna have a closer look with my glasses. Like so, I'll have a good look. Try to get my hand out of the way. So that's the hard bit, I would say. So now, we're quite confident now to just dab onto this one here, like so. You don't have to hold it on there for long. Now obviously I've done the wires too long, but oh well. You know, I'm just glad that I've done them, because obviously the shorter the wires, the less chance of that whiny noise that you get. So on this one there's a second wire that will join eventually, but let's just put this on for now. Try and fold it down. Could do with a bit more solder on there, but anyway, leave it like that for now. Okay, so that's your two wires there. They're probably two of the scariest ones to do. But they're done now. So now it's just a matter of adding the wires. The final wires are, if we look at this website, Allstar setup, thanks very much. So the blue wires are my orange wires. So we just need the red wire that's going to go to the microphone on the radio, the black wire, speaker, then you've got the COS wire, goes to the actual radio. Got the yellow wire goes to the audio, that's on the radio, and then this blue one and this blue one is LED, which will do some LEDs. And then you've got here a 1K resistor. So I'll quickly add my 1K resistor to mine now. I'll probably just use a normal type, not the flat type, but they're 1K. On the radio you use two 10K. Okay, 1K resistor. Let's just do one side first. Just here. Let that go hard. Now when you try and bend the other bit over to this pin here, just be careful not to rip it off the track. So I'm going to carefully just bend that into place. I've gone a bit too zoomy there. And let's just stuff a bit on. That's more than we need. So that's our resistor on there now. 1K. We've cut the track. That's just above. If you look, see the scratch? You have to cut the track through the two tram lines. And now it's just joining wires as per the diagram. Right, we've got our wires here. We're going to tin them all. Just like so. Hopefully you can see what we're up to. Sort of hold it all in one hand. Get some solder and just tin it. Not even very good at it, but yeah, I did put some flux on there. So tin them all. Let's start fitting them. So the black one goes top left, goes here, just here like so. You don't need to put it on there for long. Then the red one, I can find it. Come on, red, where are you? Goes here. Actually, no, it doesn't go there. I'm telling a lie. It goes. That's where the yellow one goes. It goes up here. I'm just going to get a bit more solder on there. And the red one, because you've got that other wire, so I mean it'll probably make the other one fly off, but we will soon find out. That seems to have took. But yeah, you've got basically got two wires on. I call that pin number 7. Then you've got the yellow one that goes here. Okay. Then the white one, which is what they call the COS wire. This is the only wire that actually goes inside the actual radio. Let's move it up so you can see. Need to get some solder on that. So yeah, it's not very good soldering really, but anyway, it's on there. Let that dry. Cool down anyway. So I always turn the soldering iron off as quickly as I can. So that's all done now. That's now ready to go into our radio. So we've got the red and the white, as you can see at the top, like so. Sorry, the black and the white. And I'll show you where they go on the radio. Red and these orangey wire. Yeah, all good. And then the yellow wire here goes to audio on the radio. And we've got our resistor. So that is a ready-made, they call it a simple. They call it simple because it hasn't got a transistor, but it should work. And let me just show you the radio and then we're in the video. So if you look at the radio, we've got the black wire. Goes to a 10k resistor here. 5 from the bottom one. So count up 5 from that, or down 5 from this top one. Down 5 from that, or up 5 from this. 10k resistor. Black wire. White wire goes underneath there. I'll show you a picture of that. So thanks to Allstar setup for this photograph. Wire here, look, the radio is, this board has been removed and turned upside down. If you look, the speaker hole is there, so it's underneath. That's called the COS wire. So it's underneath, you see it's going underneath there, it's underneath here actually. COS wire, so that's your white. Then your yellow. If you look at the very top, you've got 3 solder points, just where that 10k, that blue 10k resistor is. The third one along the nearest, the outer part of the radio, goes to the yellow wire. Okay, we know, we've seen where the yellow wire goes with my other diagram. The red wire goes to these. So look, there's your 3.5 jack from the side. Red wire goes to the pin I call number 7, okay, which is here, and that joins with the orange wire. This is the one we just made. The tracks have been cut. This black here is important. You need to earth this quite well. So you've got earthing points on the Raspberry Pi, yeah, as many earths as possible, and then you're not going to get that whiny noise. The SD card that's in the Raspberry Pi 3B has got the HAMVOIP Allstar image. Go to HAMVOIP, download that and burn it with BALENA ETCHER or Win32. And there is a process for that. I have made a video. And you need to get an Allstar number, so go to the Allstar website as well and get yourself a number. And away you go, configuration, and you've made yourself a node. These are buck converters, so 5 volts comes from here, and the outer one is red, skip one, then the black is the earth, 5 volts for the Raspberry Pi, and you can use one and put a resistor in, or use 2 because they're so cheap. And I've set that at 4 volts, and you set it by turning the screws. Yeah, the screws, I know it's a bit dim here, trying to get it in the light. The screws here, you just turn them, and it's clockwise to, if I remember right, to make it yeah, less, I think, and anti-clockwise made it more. You can buy, they're called buck converters, CM108, Raspberry Pi 3B, and a Bofeng 888S. Thanks for watching my channel. Bye for now.
With an M, so it's just an FM.
Bofeng 888S. Take a look at this.
An old one by modern
This is my Allstar node. Look at this, you'll laugh.
Just like a 2 meter white stick in the attic.
On a chopping board.
Yeah, I usually get to
Raspberry Pi, Bofeng, buck converter, CM108.
Yeah, I've been finding it really good.
Look how good it sounds.
Quite a sort of HF type
Allstar node,
and,
M0FXP HAMTech.